666.
So this week's Yallah segment, Yallah, Saudi in a minute.
Yallah.
Yallah. The first topic. Traffic police of Saudi Arabia recently updated its list of fines due to the high rate of traffic violations. Fines range from Category 8 fines of SR 100 to 150, Saudi Riyals 100 to 150, all the way up to Category 1 with fines of SR 20,000 to SR 60,000.
So roughly $6,000 to $20,000.
Exactly.
Yikes.
And the Category 1.
Yikes. We talked a little bit about last week with Chris Johnson, Sahar, and sort of the complex social situation around traffic monitoring. So that's interesting that they're obviously trying to get these traffic violations under control over there. Saudis drive crazily, if I may make a broad statement. So this is probably good.
Yeah. I thought this was interesting, and actually the list of fines was pretty extensive, which isn't surprising. One of the interesting things, and this, by the way, it fits in with their quality of life initiative. They're trying to make things safer, more secure, any number of things. But one of the minor fines, Category 8 fines, made me, I laughed a little bit, because one of them is throwing objects while the car is moving. Now that is littering. Essentially, it's not people throwing things at other cars. It's littering, and there was a long time, and in many developing countries, conservation and awareness of littering is way on the back burner. Mm-hmm. And for many years, the national bird of Saudi Arabia was known to be the plastic bag, because so many of it just been thrown out. They were, blowing about the desert, caught in shrubs, and this sort of thing. And that's it. I thought that was interesting, because that's a move to try and make the environment and day-to-day world cleaner and less cluttered and less garbage. It's interesting. Our second Yallah, the top fines, the Category 1 fines, the 20,000 to 60,000 Saudi riyals, are for drifting. And we know there's a subculture in Saudi Arabia. It seems to have waned a little bit, and I think that's because they've been brought into a more organized, more official formats where people can go drift and not be doing it on the open road. But you remember some of the videos, but 3, 4, 5 years ago, of people drifting on public roads. It's insane.
Truly insane. We've actually also seen it live on public roads, and it's very scary. This is good, and also they're doing so much in terms of cleaning up Saudi Arabia. Like, it's all part of the Saudi Green Initiative, but they're planting trees and they're really working on their waste management. So this is sort of an indication of things sort of becoming more civilized there. Which I think is cool.
My dad worked in Saudi Arabia in the 70s. He worked for JCOR, Joint Economic Commission, which is, interestingly enough, was a relationship with the U.S. Department of Treasury, for whatever reason, had with Saudi Arabia. And it had to do with infrastructure projects. And at that time, open sewers in the street. I mean, it ran in the street. Very little electrification. All the things that are roads. It's just interesting. Every country is on a path. Mm-hmm. And Saudi Arabia is in a hurry on this path, then they're farther along the path. But it's just changes is happening so quickly.
Indeed. Number 2 today, the Saudi International Festival of Motoring, Autoville, is coming to Dirab Motor Park in Riyadh, January 8th through 14th. Autoville promises to be a wholly experiential and immersive festival, bringing an action-packed experience with stunt shows, driving experiences such as Tokyo Drift-style ride-along, Suzuki Swift track experience, and sprint tracks, and a dedicated after-sales pavilion. So if you're there in Riyadh for the mining summit, just shoot over, and you can also check out the Festival of Motoring.
Yeah, you can Tokyo drift a little bit.
It's a double dip. Interesting.
This sounds very cool.
Sounds awesome. Yeah. So this goes along with your sort of like legalized and controlled drifting angle for this, because this is sort of what that is. This sounds awesome. I want to see some photos and videos of this.
Well, drifting is a function of youth with nothing to do, and that's a big part of Vision 2030 is giving you something to do. So it's they're off into doing other things now, and hopefully, but they have so many more options. It's a good thing. Ready to move on to 3?
Indeed, I'm ready.
Saudi Aramco has awarded contracts worth more than 4.5 billion for 5 key packages meant for its giant Zuluf offshore oil field expansion project in the Persian Gulf. Zuluf currently produces between 550,000 and 600,000 barrels per day of Arabian Medium crude, and Aramco is targeting as much as 600,000 barrels per day in additional volumes from the Arabian Heavy reservoir.
Fascinating. Do you know where the Zuluf offshore expansion is?
It's just offshore, off of in the Gulf. So I don't know exactly, but I have to think it's near Dammam.
Interesting. I mean, this goes into what we were just talking about, investing and getting investment into new oil expansion. So good on them. Yeah.
And like I said, I said I'd repeat myself, and here we are. We're repeating myself. It doesn't, being a swing producer, being a reliable producer, fulfilling your quotas always, it doesn't just happen.
Mm-hmm.
This is a $4.5 billion investment for 5 key packages. It won't be the last of it, just for this one expansion that will get them to 1 million more. Get them from 12 million barrels a day to 13 million barrels a day. Plenty of people say, well, what's the point? Why not? Why do you even have 12? The point is that it allows them the flexibility to be a swing producer and manage markets in a way that they think is constructive and to their benefit sometimes, but also very frequently to the benefit of the market in general. So it's a commitment that should be applauded, and it's management and governance that is worthy of respect.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Number 4, the investment arm of Saudi Arabia's General Organization for Social Insurance, GOSI, said it delivered returns of over 14% in 2021. Hassana, the fund manager, which oversees $250 billion in assets, also said that investment gains exceeded 12% for the past 3 years and 9% for the past 5 years. This is cool because Hassana is sort of a new entity that combined 2 pension funds and now is positioning itself to be one of the top 10 pension funds in the world.
Yes, I love these things where transparency breaks out.
Mm-hmm. It's nice.
I have a friend for many years who insisted, and maybe he was right. He was privy to these sorts of things. That always said there's 2 books. There are 2 sets of books, in the kingdom. There's one that goes to the royal family, and then there's the other set of books, and eminently believable. But as we move along and we see some of the Vision 2030 accounting practices and an attempt to be more transparent and more disciplined, it seems less likely. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it's not occurring. I'm not saying so. But these sorts of things where public or public facing or these sorts of entities that are responsible for investments are being more transparent is really a good sign, and it's part and parcel with what's happened, since 2017 when Aramco, went, floated 5%. In order to do that, they had to become more transparent, more accountable. It's all a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
On to the next one. Wish me luck on this one.
Good luck.
Dolce & Gabbana is bringing its lavish Alta Moda, Alta Sartoria, and Alta Gioelleria.
Nice.
Was that it?
I think so.
shows to Saudi Arabia for the first time on January 27th. Known for staging large-scale theatrical events that fuse emotion with high fashion, Dolce & Gabbana has previously shown its Alta Moda collections in a temple in Sicily, the storied houses of Milan, and even inside New York's Metropolitan Opera House. Its last outing in August was in Venice's famed St. Mark's Square, where thunderstorms added to the theatrical beauty of the clothes.
I wonder if the models agreed that the thunderstorms added to the beauty of the event.
I don't know why, I happened to be seeing Hunger Games, and I don't know that episode where her dress catches on fire. This is what happens when you're wearing really fashionable stuff in a thunderstorm in St. Mark's Square.
We talk about recurring themes on this podcast a lot and repeating ourselves, but I mean, this is just another example of an event or a fashion show taking place. And if you were to try to say that this was going to happen to somebody 5 years ago, they would laugh at you and say, absolutely not. Dolce & Gabbana is not doing its Alta Moda collection in Saudi Arabia. But this is cool. I mean, this is progress. Very interesting.
Can you actually, they're doing the Alta Moda and Alta Sartorina. What's that third one?
Alta Geo.
But your point is spot on. And it's what you said about the soundstorm. People are going, hey, I could only see this in Paris or New York or whatever, or Coachella or Burning Man. But
Geo Elleria.
Yeah, but here we're seeing it in Riyadh. Yeah, Riyadh's the place to be.
Indeed. Okay, I'll wrap it up with number 6 and put a bow in Yallah. Jahez IPO'd this week, listing on Nomu, the parallel stock exchange in Saudi Arabia. The Saudi food delivery firm became the first tech startup to list on a public exchange in the kingdom. Kind of big news.
Huge news. And our friend Fahd Al-Malki was talking about this, our good friend and a really good lawyer in Saudi Arabia that we did a weekly with. And he was talking about what a big thing this was. And technically STC Pay is sort of recognized as the first Saudi unicorn. Because when Western Union bought 15% for $200 million in November 2020, it sort of qualified as a unicorn, or billion or more, value a billion or more. But STC Pay is a fully owned subsidiary of Saudi Telecom. Jahez, to me, is a true startup story. I mean, it started in 2016 and is now valued at $2.4 billion and just publicly listed. I mean, I'd give it distinction of the first true Saudi unicorn.
We'll have to have somebody from Jahez on the 966 to talk about the story, because I'm sure it was very interesting. I'm sure they have a very interesting story leading up to this. So that's really cool. Yeah, food delivery is huge.
Well, they hit it just right with the pandemic. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. So congrats to their team. This is huge. It's big for Saudi Arabia too, because this is the name of the game, just getting homegrown companies that aren't in the energy and mineral space to survive and thrive and start bringing investment in. So, and big for Saudi Arabia's venture capital space as well.
I'm looking at me in this thing as the sun goes down, and I just have the light from the monitor. I think we need to call this the Michael Myers episode, because I'm terrifying.
Well, what I was thinking when I was looking at you is that I could really use a cup of Arabic coffee. It seems to be getting pretty late. It is getting late here, so I think we will wrap it up now. Again, wherever you get your podcast, if you subscribe to us, leave us a little review. A 5-star review is definitely preferable, but any review at all would be great.
No mention of how I look right now, please.
Make it just based on the content and not on what we look like right now, please.
Not if you were frightened by the visual.
Richard, thank you very much.
Thank you, Lucian. Good one.